Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you are watching another Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks review with me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and my co-host, Rebellious D and Trav. How you fellas doing today?
Good, bro.
Ready to rock.
Ready.
Hey,
It's finally
well,
here.
It's finally here,
know
baby.
what it is.
Right, Loki. You know what I'm saying?
On Wednesdays, we usually do our Superman and Lois reviews, but that's going to change because there's another superhero show coming on Wednesdays as now, and that is Loki on
Wednesday
superhero.
So I'm happy that we're going to be doing 2 videos on Wednesdays now, and let's go ahead and get into it. But before we do that, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.
Podcast below in the description. Please check us out. Like, follow, subscribe to the channel.
That's right.
Give
That's
us
all
a
you can
thumbs
do.
up.
That's all you can do. So let's go ahead
Hey,
and
thumb
get
it
into
Thumb it up.
Glorious Purpose, which is the name of this episode. And guys, I don't know about y'all, but I love that it started off with what happened in Avengers Endgame, where it showed the events that happened.
Little recap.
Give you a little recap. You know, we finally got to see the Avengers in a TV show, because I don't believe that they've appeared on Falcon and Winter Soldier or WandaVision, but of course it was, archive footage, but still, I mean, it was cool to see what happened. So Trav, I want to ask you, like, what were your thoughts on, before we get into Loki, like, what were your thoughts on this series being announced and, wanting to know what happened to Loki after Endgame?
Yeah, remember this series was announced before Endgame came out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we didn't
Pretty
even
close.
know what they were gonna do with Loki, because to us, Loki been dead. So then
hold on, Trav. I'm sorry to cut you off. It wasn't announced before Endgame came out. It was announced
okay.
afterwards.
Okay, well, either way, we ain't know what they was gonna do. They announced what they gonna do, and they did it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all I got to
Good
say
shot.
about that.
I like it. D.
That's right. Yeah, man. I like it. I like what they're gonna do with this. Can't wait to see where it goes. Reminds me kind of like a quantum leap kind of situation.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Time travel, sliders, all that throwback
Sliders.
stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Man. When it was announced originally, it was something that I was interested in, just like Falcon and Winter Soldier, because I wanted to know what was going to happen now that these characters, the timelines had changed. You know what I'm saying? With Sam Wilson moving on to becoming Captain America, and now with Loki escaping, going to jail on Asgard, it was something that I thought about, like, well, what happened now? Now, one of the things that I love that we saw in this series is how they talked about how there used to be all of these different timelines, and then the Time Guardians, they put the times into like one mainstream timeline, and it kind of piggybacks or goes back to Avengers Endgame, where Hulk is talking with the Ancient One, and she shows the different timelines and like what's going to happen if you do this. And we see what happens with Loki, which later on in the episode, because Loki says that the Avengers should be punished as well because they time traveled, and they was like, no, they were supposed to do that. That was part of the assignment. So I want to say that I get Men in Black vibes from the TVA. I don't know about you guys, but like, I just like how when they go to different times, like as we saw, they can reset the timeline. So if something happens that's not supposed to happen in that timeline, like we saw when Loki was in Mongolia, they were able to reset it. Trav, I know before we had did this review, you were talking about Tara Strong. She was up here.
Yeah, that was fire.
Yes,
It's like when I saw her name in the credits, man, like it's like Tara Strong, like she's our childhood, man.
For sure.
She voiced Tommy Pickles on Rugrats, and of course she voiced Raven in Teen Titans, and now Teen Titans Go. It's just always awesome when you see familiar names in the credits, especially when it's people that you know. Something else that's awesome is I want to talk about Owen Wilson's character, Mobius M. Mobius. Now, D, do you think that M stands for Mobius?
Yes, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say yeah.
I thought you was gonna say it's still for Michael.
Oh Lord, there it is. There's the Michael drop.
You know we had to mention
Gotta
Michael.
drop.
But I think it's cool that both Wilson brothers are doing stuff in the comic world. Like, Owen Wilson is now in the MCU, and then Luke Wilson, he's on Stargirl in the DC cinematic universe. I believe that's what it's called, or the Arrowverse, as they say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, I thought it was cool seeing Owen Wilson in this, and how Trav was telling me before we started recording that his character was introduced in the Fantastic Four comic. And I just think it's interesting that like so many characters are introduced in this comic series, but it's like, the Fantastic Four doesn't really get any love, right, Trav?
Not yet.
Yeah, well, they keep dropping the ball on it.
Yeah, that's not necessarily Marvel's fault either.
That's not.
Well, no, but
I think Marvel's gonna they're gonna get it right,
Yeah, hopefully, we'll see it.
We'll see.
Yeah,
they don't get everything right. I just don't want to. They don't get everything right. So I mean.
So Trav, I wanted to ask you, or I'll ask Dee this since I had already asked you, Trav. Dee, like, how did you feel when Mobius was talking with Loki and he was showing him everything that's going to happen? Like, they know, when your life is going to end. They know what's going to happen in the future. How did you feel about that scene and Loki finding out his future?
I really liked it. I thought that this was your ultimate recap guide episode. It was interesting because they did a lot of recapping in the episode, but they also kind of moved it into where the direction they want to go. I really liked it. Just the different emotions that Loki got to show, seeing his past, his present, his future. I thought it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Trav?
Yeah. Well, again, I think everybody's biggest concern was us getting a Loki that hadn't fully developed like we had seen him in the movies. And because this is a 2012 Loki, not a 2018 Loki, what I mean? So like there's a lot of things he hadn't been through yet, like him and Thor haven't patched up and created that bond. He hadn't lost Odin and gotten that stuff from Odin and his mother and all that stuff. So it was cool. We got all that in the episode for us to be like, all right, now, like, from this point forward, we get like the Loki that we know and love now.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting because this is something that we don't see in Thor: The Dark World, but he doesn't know that it was his fault that Frigga died.
Yeah, right.
He just told them where to go. He just all he knew was that the Dark Elves killed his mom, but it was because of him that she died. I thought that was cool seeing that, he was able to, what's the word I'm looking for? Because like Mobius was saying, like, he didn't think that Loki was a bad guy. He didn't think that he was mischievous and all this other stuff. Like, of course he did bad things, but as we've seen from his time in Thor: The Dark World and then even in Thor Ragnarok, like, Loki was able to grow. And I kind of want to piggyback off of what you were saying, Trav, about how we didn't know like what Loki was going to do, because it's like Mobius says, it's just like, you really don't exist anymore. So you could stay here with us and just keep doing, doing your thing and helping us out. So I'm really looking forward to seeing like what direction this show goes in. I mean, like we've seen in the trailers that it looks like Loki is going to be going on all of these time quest adventures. And like Dee said, it's kind of like Quantum Leap. Yeah, where it's just like he has to correct time. And then also too, we saw that when Mobius was, I can't remember where he was at, but he was in a time period where there was a demon on the glass wall. And I know fans, when they saw that trailer, they thought that it was Morpheus.
I'm so over that, bro. They've been preaching this thing for 3 damn shows now.
Yeah, since WandaVision.
I'm so tired of these fans, bro. Like, shut up, man.
Yeah, they said that that's not Morpheus, and I can't wait to see who it is. Like, hopefully it's somebody that we do know from the comics, but I'm I'm waiting for.
Hey, say it, D. Hold on. Say it, D.
No. I was gonna say you're saying Morpheus. Do you mean Mephisto?
Yes, he does.
Mephisto. Yes.
Yeah.
I could tell it was on D's face. I knew
Yeah,
he wanted to. Hey, I was gonna let him
Who's
go.
Morpheus,
the vampire that eats plasma out of your blood. That's Morpheus.
Or
the guy from
the
Spider-Man.
guy that gives you the red or the blue pill.
The guy
Take your choice.
Oh shit! Yeah, there's his ass too.
Take your choice.
Ooh. I'm taking the blue pill, I guess.
Yeah, well.
Thanks.
I don't know what he doing. He resetting that slideshow because.
Yeah, yes.
I don't know what happened. It just went out.
And I do want to correct something because I went and looked it up. The announcement for Loki came out in November of 2018, so it was announced before we got Endgame in theaters. So.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
When it was, it's just been so long. But yeah, when it was announced, people really didn't know like what the show was going to be about because he was dead.
You know what? That makes because we didn't know that he was going to die. And I mean, well, no, he was already dead.
No, he was already dead.
That's right.
That's
Yeah, he was already dead. That's right. Yeah,
they didn't know if it was going to be like a what's it called, Black Widow thing, where it's like a backstory to like her past or something. Like we just didn't know what we were going to get.
You know what, Trav?
Hey, but you know who knew? Kevin Feige knew.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Because he died in an Infinity War, and then that announcement did get announced, and then we seen an Endgame that he was able to escape.
Damn.
And like now he doesn't exist in the current timeline. So
kind of reminds me of how well the movies were thought out too, and how they're leading up to where we are now. It's like that opening where Loki gets killed. That shit was like,
I mean, they've already announced that them over there, they already have everything planned out to 2025.
Yeah.
They may not have the scripts finalized, but they have, this is what's happening, this is what happened, and this is what it's leading to, and this is where we're going.
I'm just waiting on the X-Men push, bro. I think that's going to be big.
Hey, it's coming. They got it mapped. They're way ahead of us, bro.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Damn.
We here for the ride.
Damn time police.
Mm-hmm.
I already know.
Something else I wanted to bring up was I just thought that it was really cool with Loki just seeing everything on the screen and just seeing I guess like flashbacks for us because we have been watching the MCU stuff for years now and to see like moments from Avengers and Thor the Dark World, and then when him and Thor became friends, like they were actually brothers in Thor Ragnarok, and to see that he ended up getting killed by Thanos, and
kind of redeemed himself.
Yeah, he redeemed himself, and I just thought that was awesome seeing that stuff, and then just seeing him sit there and crying and.
I was gonna say that's the important piece of the puzzle. For the flashbacks, we get the flashbacks to lead up to the conversation of I don't enjoy hurting people or doing these things, and I don't know why I do it. So it's like now we're gonna get a journey of him figuring out who he is.
Yes.
Now, question for y'all, since we're here now, do you think he had looked ahead at Luffy? Luffy.
Morpheus?
Damn, Loki. Yeah, do you think that they looked ahead at his timeline and Owen Wilson already knew that he died? Or do you think he was just going through?
Yeah,
he said, because remember, like once Loki finished watching after Thanos killed him.
Towards the end. Okay.
And I loved how it said, the end or whatever it said.
Film.
End of film. I was like, man, that's cool. Like this. Yeah. This guy literally watched his life, you know what I mean? But didn't have to live it.
A little bit of that click.
So my thing, and this is the question that I have for you guys. I want to know that because Loki, it seems like he's going to start finding himself and he's going to redeem himself for things that he hasn't done yet. Do you guys think that Loki will be back in the main MCU? And when he does return, do you think that because he knows everything that happens now, that he's going to be a changed person and him and Thor are going to have that bond? Or do you think that they're going to have to build up to it? Do you think it's going to be similar to Peter and Gamora? Trav?
Yeah, no, I don't think we're going to see him back in that main MCU timeline. At least I hope not. Because again, I feel like you can have this stuff going on, and it doesn't reflect on what's going on in that particular timeline, I don't see the need to bring him back into the fold personally.
Yeah.
D?
Yeah, as far as I'm with Trav on this one, my reasoning is that I feel like they're going to move, if you will, to another arc in Marvel's universe, which I think will be centered around the Fantastic Four and the X-Men. Mm-hmm. I think that they're just moving away from, Asgard as a whole. I think that Thor will take an exit soon.
Yeah, absolutely.
Loki's done. It's just, time to move on.
I'll put a little asterisk next to what I said.
Okay.
Because it's already been confirmed for season 2. So what's it called? We're going to get adventure, like Loki doing this as a job. This is his life now.
Yeah.
Unless it's somehow worked its way to somebody from that main timeline getting involved with
Loki.
This. No. What's the name of the
Bureau?
Huh?
TVA?
Yeah. Unless it involves TVA and a character getting involved somehow, and then it being like, I thought you were dead or something. That's the only way I could really see it being something that isn't shoehorned.
I mean, I know it's a stretch, but if they were to use like the whole Bishop, he's a time traveler.
Right.
I mean, I think that's a stretch first and foremost, but it would be interesting. But still, Trav, I think that goes hand in hand with what you were saying. You don't think he'll be returning to the main?
Yeah.
That's still not the main. This is kind of like a side quest kind of situation. Thanks.
Now, something that I was thinking about earlier when I was at the gym and I was watching this, because we see that there is this time bureau. I was thinking about like when Mephisto finally does make his appearance in the MCU. Like, I just have a feeling that, it would be like a cool Easter egg if the heroes are fighting in Mephisto's realm, and because pretty much it's hell in the MCU,
right?
And I could just see like Peter, like it looks like he's about to die or something, and then Tony comes from heaven in the Iron Man suit and he helps. I would like to see that cameo, like Robert Downey.
I'm
Jr.
good.
That's wild.
He's living the good life now.
I'm all the way good on that, bro.
He says, "Hey, tell my daughter I still love her 3,000." Like, I'd be cool seeing something like that, man.
No, we're trying to move forward. So
no, I want to.
The only person I want to see come back and do something with the MCU is William Dafoe.
But I tell you what,
one more ride, baby. One more ride.
I'm somewhat of a scientist myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, all I know is that 5 minutes into the show, we get episode whatever. We get my homegirl Ruby from Lovecraft. I said, so that's Ruby right there.
Hunter she hit your boy with that power slap.
Damn.
I felt bad for her when Loki kept on sending her all over.
Nah, that shit was great.
No, I ain't feel bad for her.
He boiled over on her.
Something else too that we forgot to mention was how they had the Infinity Stones there. And remember,
I was about to bring that up. It's like they had copies of them.
Yeah, they had copies of them. He's just like, we use them as paper.
Which is interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're going to end up needing to use those at some point. It's like, why else would they show those? I feel like they're going to.
It's in a way, I
get it, but I think it. Go ahead, Max.
I don't know. I just feel like they're kind of like the Watcher in a way.
Or do you think it's kind of like just kind of like a not a Easter egg, but I guess an homage to the other stuff, or showing them in a different light, I guess.
It's kind of similar to the Eternals, like they know what's going on, and it's like they could have did something, but they didn't. They knew about the Infinity Stones this entire time, but it's like they wanted to see Thanos wipe out the half of the universe because they knew that the Avengers were gonna end up bringing everybody back. And it's the same thing like with the TVA, like how Ravonna Renslayer had said, she was like, it was the Avengers mission to do this. But it does make you think too now, like, remember when Doctor Strange, he saw all of those different timelines, you know what I'm saying? And I wonder if that's going to play a part into this as well. Like this was the timeline where the Avengers were supposed to succeed in it, whereas in those other timelines, like they already knew that they lost, you know what I'm saying? But it does make you think too, what if something did change in one of those different timelines, and with the TVA, would they get involved in that different timeline? It's just a lot of questions now because something else I was thinking about too is that is Loki ever going to be returned to the timeline that he came from? Because you got to think now that's a timeline that's created because Loki disappeared.
Yeah, it's like a splice.
Yeah,
it's creating its own little rift.
Exactly. It's kind of just to go back to Dragon Ball Z, where Trunks created all of those different timelines because he went back to the past. So
but the gimmick in here is that this was supposed to happen. So it's not creating chaos like they talked about in that video, because when the Avengers went back in time and do what they were supposed to do, Loki was supposed to end up at TVA.
Well, nah, because remember, I mean, he wasn't.
Well, yes.
Oh yeah, no, you're right, because they said you weren't supposed to do that.
Yeah, you aren't. Yeah, because remember, because they were going to send them back, and then Mobius was just like, nah.
Well, I guess that's why they delete people or whatever they were calling.
Yeah, because you saw they deleted the one guy. Yeah. Because they were going to delete Loki, I believe.
Yeah, and they reset him.
Yeah. So,
but I think as long as he's in that area, like again, nothing affects that area. No magic, no stones, no nothing. Yeah. So I guess it's like safe.
Yeah.
Safe zone.
It's like a safe limbo.
Yeah, like he doesn't create anything off because he's not going out and changing anything.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
One thing I wanted to say is that it's interesting. What the hell just happened? Banks?
No, I'm here.
Oh, geez. I thought he was frozen. Yeah, no, what I wanted to mention real quick is that you touched on the Eternals and them letting things happen. It's a lot of, I don't know how much of the higher powers in Marvel and other things are envisioned based on the Greek gods, because that's basically how they were too. They interfered or intervened in things when they felt like they wanted to.
Yeah, we saw that on Blood of Zeus.
Yeah, and it's just like, do you think that's going to be part of the Eternal stuff? I mean, I guess we'll cross that bridge when it comes, but
sure.
It just popped into my head because you brought them up.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to happen next and seeing who the villain is in this, and that's
going to be interesting.
I do wonder if Loki is going to look into other people's futures and stuff like that to see what happens. I mean, like that would be interesting to see as well, to see, because I mean he saw what happened and his future. He saw what happened. He saw that he died, but he doesn't know that the Avengers were able to defeat Thanos. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't know that Thor is still alive. So it will be interesting to see what's going to happen next. Let us know in the comments how you felt about the first episode of Loki, what you're expecting to see. And thank you for watching our review for the first episode of Loki.
That's right.
Let them know if the hero needs to be in the streets, where can they find one at?
You can find me, rebellious_D23 at Instagram.com. Trav?
That's right. You know I'm on the Instagram as well as ZK Audio and on the Twitter at TRAVIOSZK. And
That's
of course, man, we need some heroes out here. Where they gonna find the one at?
You can find me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can look me up on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. I should be the first person to pop up. If not, then I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you again for watching this video review. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Keep that pinky up and stay positive. Peace. Thank you for watching a brand new episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure that you hit that like button and you subscribe to our channel. Hit the bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content on our channel. Make sure you check out our podcast where we release new episodes every Tuesday, and the video of that episode is uploaded on Friday. And you can find new episodes of our podcast on all podcast platforms. Make sure you follow all the Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks social media accounts at Leveling Up Banks on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Also, we have a Patreon. If you're feeling generous and would love to donate to us, it's at Leveling Up Banks. And huge shout out to our patrons. We really appreciate you and thank you for the support. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks.